Hello dear chess friends, and welcome to our new video. In that video I present the game I played on the internet against some guy with nick rattatak. I don't know the meaning of the nick, doesn't matter. Anyway, the game is structured to see what can occur, what can happen if you don't threat Sicilian defense correctly, how black can be strategically lost in only 7 moves. And the engine, and I have the Stockfish latest version, supports me about that evaluation. First, I want to thank you, my dear chess friends, for following our channels and for supporting us actively with your comments, ideas and suggestions. And now I will finally switch to the game to show what happened. After my knight c3 blitz game, I prefer in blitz sometime to play that knight f6 game, finally switched to Sicilian, where he offered me to invest some tempi in advancing e5. I took the challenge, and after knight g8, knight f3, knight c6, I decided to go for bishop b5. White is evidently better, but still nothing concrete is apparent. But after a6, terrible move, allowing me to exchange bishop and harm his pawn structure, game is absolutely strategically lost for black. What happened? If he takes with b, there is problem that he cannot play after queen e2 d6 in some desired way, because he won't be able to recapture with e7 pawn after I take. Furthermore, he won't be able to finish development properly after g6, knight h6, bishop g7. That's too slow and will give me serious and strong initiative on the king side and in the center. Let's go back to the game. d takes c6 was played, and after d3, g6, one of points black is completely lost is possibility for white to play a4. What's the idea? I want to play a5 to prevent b6 to make c5 pawn separated, unprotected, and a real weakness. If black reacts with b5, that is just extra pawn for me. If black reacts with b6, there is same a5, and after he plays that, still I can go for attacking that pawn, I think, with bishop e3, and black would be strategically lost. Bishop e3 here. So I want to say that black is in real trouble. Maybe it would be the best for him to play a5, but then black loses flexibility, and I will get c4 spot for my knight. Perhaps I will use that route to transfer knight to c4. After bishop g7, a5 was played. He wants to get rid by unique possible way from my annoying e5 pawn, but of course I keep that pawn alive. Let him take first and let ruin pawn structure. F takes c5, I took with my knight, knight f6, and after castling, knight c4 was played move. Well, I want maybe to invade, but I want also to get control on e-file with my queen, where I want to do some check or to attack e7 pawn in some good moment. Knight d5, okay, he hopes I will take so he can improve pawn structure, but no thanks, just bishop d2. There was nothing wrong with knight e4, as you can see. Bishop d2, bishop f5, and now knight e4 was played. If he takes, well, I will take probably with the queen, with domination on white squares c4 and e4, and threatening to attack pawn e7 permanently with rook e1, bishop g5, etc. In the game, black played knight b4, but bishop c3. Idea is not only in exchanging dark square bishops, but also idea is in protecting pawn c2. Black temporarily gets some initiatives with knight d5, knight b4, some so-called active moves, but that is definitely fake activity. There is nothing black can do. After bishop c3, simple move b takes c. Let me remind you that bishop e4 can be met with simple cb5, and next will be even this. So after b takes, knight d5, I took, he took, but powerful move, queen e5. Amazing centralization. Two powerful knights. Always put knight in front of opponent's central pawn if no other pawn can attack it. So queen e5, his pieces are wandering with fake activity. Even if so-called active, there is nothing his pieces can do in that position. While major pieces are still on the 8th rank with no prospects for the future. Knight e5, and now I decided to simplify the position with this and to put pressure on pawn b7. With that knight on d5, he threatens nothing, but my knight creates many threats. I will directly set attack on b7 and d7 pawn, and black position is about to collapse very soon. Rook e1, after rook b8, of course, queen c7, and now I decided to trade queens, because after that my knight controls d7, threatens not only to d7 but also to c6 in some good moment, and pawn b7 cannot be easily protected, as you'll see. Rook fd8, but now after simple doubling, I predicted that will happen. There is nothing black can do, because now he tried with c5, but knight d7, nice jump threatening multiple forks, will end the game. So the question is what may occur if black just earlier instead of playing rook d6. So what if black plays, for instance, something like this, and after that rook c7. Of course here I have knight d7 with taking a pawn, but even in that position black is lost because I have c4, and in some moment after knight f4, g3, so he cannot prevent my move rook b6 and knight c6. Or I can transfer knight to c5 with d4 and some knight d3, knight c5 with a decisive attack to pawn b7. After rook b3, rook d6, you know that happened, rook eb1, rook e6, d4, c5. I do now some moves with tempo. After rook d8, he wants to get some tempo, but that just leads to resignation. Rook c8 will be met with the same move, knight c5. So after that, knight c5, rook e2, king f1, rook c2. I force his rook to leave e file, and now finally that fork wins the game. So my dear chess friends, once again I want to pay attention on so important move. After a6 and bishop c6, black is desperately strategically lost. Never force opponent to do something he wants to do. So with bishop b5, I definitely want to capture on c6 in some good moment. a6 is usually terrible move. It is not like in Ruy Lopez, black forces white to capture on c6. No, in Ruy Lopez, black has much healthier pawn structure because pawn stays on c7, not on c5. Now c5 was the main reason for black's defeat. I hope you enjoyed that video, and see you soon with new lessons. Bye bye, dear chess friends.